Casinos want you to believe every game is rigged in their favor. Ex-employees say that's not the full story. The house edge is real, and it's engineered to drain your bankroll before you even realize what's happening. But what if the real secret isn't just in the rules, but in how the environment and psychology are stacked against you? Turns out the numbers and the insider tricks behind them tell a story the casino would rather you never hear. So what's the advantage you're missing every time you walk onto the floor? Every game on the casino floor runs on a simple equation: the odds you face versus the payout you are offered. The difference between those two is the house edge, and it is built into every bet, every spin, every hand. The numbers might look small on paper, but they add up fast. Take roulette as an example. On a standard American wheel, there are 38 numbers, but a winning single number bet only pays 35 to 1. The true odds should pay 37 to 1, but that missing payout is where the house locks in its profit. Over the long run, that edge means the casino keeps about 5.26% of every dollar wagered on roulette. It is not just roulette. Blackjack, played with perfect basic strategy, cuts the house edge down to about 0.5 to 1%. But even then, the math is always working against the player. In slot machines, the edge can climb as high as 10 or even 14%, depending on the machine and its settings. That is why slots are the biggest revenue source for most casinos. The house edge is the silent partner at every table, collecting a share of every bet, no matter who wins or loses on a single hand. This is not about luck or superstition. It is about the numbers. If you play long enough, the math will catch up. For every $100 you bet on a game with a 5% edge, you are expected to lose $5 over time. The casino does not need you to lose every hand. It just needs you to keep playing. That is the real engine behind the flashing lights and ringing bells, a system where the house edge guarantees profit, one small slice at a time. Understanding that margin is the first step to seeing the games for what they really are, a test of how much you are willing to pay to play. Every insider on this team has the paperwork to prove it. Redacted pay stubs, old employee badges, and gaming commission records are evidence that these are not just stories from the other side of the table. There is a former dealer who spent 6 years on the main floor, a pit boss with a decade tracking high rollers, and a slot technician who knows exactly what is behind those spinning reels. Each one brings a different angle, but they all agree on one thing: the casino is engineered to keep you playing, not just to take your money. The design starts before you even sit down. Step onto the floor and notice what is missing. No clocks, no windows, no hint of the outside world. The air is pumped with just the right mix of oxygen and scent, tuned to keep you alert and comfortable. The layout is a maze, with the highest traffic paths winding past rows of machines and tables. It is not by accident that the exit is hard to find, or that the restrooms are deep inside the gaming area. Every detail is meant to stretch out your time on the floor. Slots are the heart of this strategy. The industry calls it time on device. The longer you sit, the more you play, and the more the house edge works in the casino's favor. Machines are designed for speed, short spins, quick results, and constant feedback. Bonus rounds, near misses, and flashing lights keep your attention locked in. Even the seats are built for comfort, encouraging you to settle in for hours at a time. One ex-floor manager explains that the average session length has nearly doubled in the past 2 decades, not because players are winning more, but because the environment keeps them engaged. The absence of clocks and the constant stimulation mean it is easy to lose track of time and of how much you are really spending. Session length changes make the math invisible, but the effect is real. Every extra minute on the floor adds to the casino's bottom line. That is why understanding the environment is just as important as knowing the odds. A former blackjack dealer lays out the truth behind the numbers. Most players walk up to the table thinking it is all about luck, but the real weapon is knowledge. Every hand in blackjack has a mathematically correct move: hit, stand, split, or double down, mapped out in what is called a basic strategy chart. This chart is not a secret. It is the product of millions of simulated hands and cold, hard statistics. Using it, a player can cut the house edge down to as little as 0.5 to 1%. Compare that to the 2 to 4% edge the house has over casual players who rely on gut feeling or hunches. The difference adds up with every hand dealt. Dealers notice who is following the chart. They see the players who never hesitate, who split 8s against a dealer's 10, or who stand on a hard 17 no matter what. These are the players who last longer at the table. Over the course of a night, that tiny percentage difference means hundreds of dollars saved or lost, depending on whether you stick to the math or break from it. But there is another layer: card counting. It is not illegal, but it is definitely unwelcome. Card counting uses simple arithmetic to track the ratio of high cards to low cards left in the deck. When the count swings positive, the advantage can actually tip in the player's favor by as much as 1 to 2%. That is enough to erase the house edge entirely, but it comes with real risks. Casinos invest heavily in surveillance, and modern systems use AI to spot betting patterns that do not fit the norm. Sudden jumps in bet size, deviations from basic strategy, or even a string of high wins can trigger alerts. The pit boss might start hovering. The dealer may shuffle more often, or security could ask you to leave. Facial recognition and chip tracking technology mean that even experienced counters are flagged in minutes, not hours. Single-deck games are rare, and most blackjack tables now use multi-deck shoes or continuous shuffling machines. These changes make counting much harder and sometimes impossible. Still, some players try to blend in, varying their bets only slightly, tipping dealers, or playing in teams to avoid detection. The house is always watching, and the moment you are suspected of counting, your game is over. The dealer's advice is simple. If you want a real shot, master the basic strategy first. It is legal, it is effective, and it is invisible to surveillance. Counting can give you an extra edge, but it is a cat-and-mouse game with the casino. Skill turns blackjack from a game of chance into a contest of discipline and memory. For those willing to put in the work, it is the closest thing to a fair fight the casino floor has to offer. On the casino floor, most machines are engineered to drain your bankroll over time. But there is one exception that insiders point to: video poker, specifically full-pay jacks or better. The secret is not luck or a hidden button, it is the pay table sitting right in front of you. Every video poker machine displays a list of payouts for each hand. The numbers to look for are 9 coins for a full house and 6 coins for a flush, hence the nickname 9-6 jacks or better. With those payouts and perfect strategy, the return to player climbs to nearly 99.5%. That means for every $100 wagered, the expected loss is just 50 cents, less than almost any other game in the building. But finding these machines is not always easy. Casinos know their value, so they are often tucked away from the main aisles or mixed in with lower-paying versions. A former dealer explains how to spot the difference. Always check the pay table before you sit down. If the full house pays 8 in or the flush pays 5, keep walking. Even a single coin less drops the return by a full percentage point, turning a nearly even game into a slow bleed. The edge only holds if you play every hand perfectly. Unlike slots, where the outcome is random and strategy means nothing, video poker rewards skill. There are charts and apps that map out the mathematically best move for every possible hand. Mistakes, even small ones, chip away at that razor-thin advantage. Most casual players make enough errors to push the house edge up to 1.5% or more, which is still better than most slots but a far cry from the advertised 99.5%. One ex-employee admits he keeps a laminated strategy card in his wallet, legal in most casinos, and practices on free apps to sharpen his play before risking real money. The real catch is that casinos rely on players not noticing the difference. Machines with the best pay tables sit side by side with lower-paying versions, and the graphics are often identical. The only way to know is to read the numbers yourself. Some properties still offer full-pay games, especially in higher-limit areas or off the main tourist path, but they are rare. A slot technician points out that even the best machine cannot help if you do not bet the maximum coins. Only a 5-coin bet unlocks the full royal flush payout. Anything less, and the advertised return vanishes. For those willing to put in the work, scouting the floor, learning the charts, and playing with discipline, video poker offers a shot at beating the house edge, or at least coming closer than most games allow. But the margin is slim, and the casino is counting on mistakes. That is why ex-employees stress pay table selection and perfect play are non-negotiable. Miss either one, and you are back in the same trap as everyone else. A slot technician remembers the moment he realized the machines were not just about luck, they were about control. He watched players light up when 3 cherries lined up on the screen, only to groan as the last reel stopped just short of a jackpot. That disappointment was not random. It is called a near miss, and it is built into the game's programming. The reels are set to stop on almost winning combinations far more often than true odds would suggest. Each near miss triggers a surge of dopamine in the brain, the same chemical that fires when you win. For a split second, the body cannot tell the difference between almost winning and actually winning. That is why players keep spinning, chasing a feeling that the machine is designed to deliver over and over without ever paying out the big prize. The sensory assault does not stop there. Slot machines use a carefully tuned mix of lights and sounds to reinforce every small win, every bonus round, every spin that comes close. The bells, the flashing graphics, even the rumble of the seat are all engineered to keep players locked in. Studies show that near misses increase persistence, making people play longer and spend more, even when they are losing. The technician describes how the sound of coins dropping was replaced by digital jingles, each one calibrated to make a $1 win feel like a jackpot. The longer players stay, the more the house edge grinds away at their bankroll. That is why discipline is not just smart, it is the only real defense against a system built to keep you chasing losses. Return to player, RTP, is the number that tells you how much a slot machine is programmed to pay back over time. Most players never see it, but every slot technician knows the range by heart. On the casino floor, RTP can swing from as low as 86% up to 98%, depending on the machine and the settings chosen by the casino. That means for every $100 put into a machine, it is designed to pay out anywhere from $86 to $98, with the rest staying behind as profit for the house. Those few percentage points make a massive difference over thousands of spins. Casinos are not required to display RTP on most machines, especially in places like Nevada, so players have to guess or do some research. In regulated markets, like parts of Europe or New Jersey, you might find the RTP listed in the help menu or on a small sticker. But on the Las Vegas Strip, that information is almost always hidden. The result is most people play blind, not realizing that 2 identical-looking machines can have totally different odds just a few feet apart. Placement is no accident either. High traffic areas, near entrances or main walkways, might feature machines with slightly higher RTP to attract attention, but the majority are set closer to the house's preferred margin. Corners, alcoves, and isolated banks often hide the tightest slots, where the RTP drops and the house edge climbs. A slot technician once mapped out the floor and found the loosest machines were outnumbered 5-to-1 by their tighter cousins. The best advice from those who have worked behind the scenes is this: never assume a flashy machine in a prime spot is generous. The only way to know is to check the rules, Look for published RTP if available, and understand that on most floors, the odds are quietly stacked against you. That is how some slots drain your bankroll faster than others, by design, not by bad luck. A former dealer lays out the rules he swears by. It starts before you make a single bet. Set your budget for the night and treat it as spent the moment you walk in. Say you bring $500. Decide in advance you will stop if you lose 40%, that is $200 down. Time to walk away. But it is not just about losses. If you are up 50%, pocket the $250 gain and call it a night. Every pro knows those. The next streak could go either way. Each bet should be a small fraction of your bankroll, no more than 1 or 2% per hand or spin. That keeps you in the game longer and protects you from wild swings. The math is simple, but discipline is what sets winners apart. Dealers see it every night. The players who stick to their plan walk out with more than just empty pockets. Casinos track every bet, every minute you spend on the floor, and they reward loyalty with comps, free meals, hotel nights, and cashback offers. For regular players, these perks can return 0.5% to 1% of your action, trimming the cost of play. But there is a line you cannot cross. Anything that manipulates the outcome, using hidden devices, colluding with staff, or tampering with machines, is illegal and prosecuted. Skill-based play, like card counting or pay table selection, stays within the law, but casinos have the right to refuse service if they suspect advantage play. If gambling stops being entertainment, help is available. The National Council on Problem Gambling runs a 24-hour hotline at 1-800-522-4700. Remember, the only sure thing in a casino is the house edge. Play smart, play safe, and know when to walk away. Casinos now use AI to spot skilled players, but the real edge still belongs to those who control their play. The average American loses over $600 a year gambling, so the stakes are not just financial, they are psychological. In a world engineered to make you lose track, discipline is your only true advantage. The house edge endures, but your choices start now. Share how you play smart in the comments below.